Hello and welcome back to Export Monday. I'm so glad you've joined me today for this deep dive. If you caught a short video on Wednesday, you know we touched on a topic that doesn't get enough attention, the physical health of our gadgets. I like to think of these Tech Monday sessions as our chance to slow things down and really understand the how and why behind these tools we use every single day. Now, when most people think about tech support, they think about the confusing software or forgotten passwords. But today, we're talking about something even more basic, cleanliness. Think of your computer or your laptop or even your smartphone like a car. You wouldn't expect your car to run forever without an oil change or a new air filter, right? Your electronics are exactly the same. Taking a few minutes to clean them isn't about making them look shiny and new, it's about preventative medicine. We spend a lot of hard-earned money on these devices, and a little bit of dusting is the best way to protect that investment and make sure they stay fast and reliable for years to come. Let's get started. To understand why cleaning is so important, we have to talk about the biggest enemy of your electronics, heat. Every single time you turn on your computer or look at your phone, electricity is moving through the tiny parts inside. That movement creates heat. To stay healthy, your devices have a safe temperature they need to maintain. This is why computers have those little fans you hear whirring and those vents on the sides or back. They are literally breathing out the hot air so the device can stay cool. Here's a little secret that many tech companies don't emphasize. When your computer gets too hot because those vents are clogged with dust or pet hair, it does something called throttling. That's just a fancy word for slowing down on purpose. The computer realizes it's overheating, so it slows its brain down to generate less heat so it doesn't actually melt or break. If your computer feels sluggish or old, it might not actually be broken. It might just be suffocating under a layer of dust. But it's not just about the dust inside, it's also about where you're sitting. We've probably all had a moment where we've curled up in bed or on our couch with our laptop to watch a movie or answer some emails. It feels cozy, but it's actually one of the worst things you can do for your tech. Soft surfaces like blankets, pillows, and couch cushions act like a thick winter coat. They block the air vents at the bottom of your laptop and trap the heat inside. Even using a laptop on your actual lap isn't ideal. Our bodies are warm and our clothes can block those vents just as easily as a blanket. The best thing you can do for your laptop's performance is to keep it on a flat, hard surface like a desk or a table where the air can freely move underneath it. Now that we know we need to keep things cool, let's talk about the right way to get that dust out of our bigger machines like your desktop towers or your laptops. The first step is locating your vents. On a laptop, these are usually little grills on the side or the bottom. On a big desktop computer, you usually see them on the back or the front or on top. If you see gray fuzz or hair sticking out of those grills, that's our target. Now, I want to give you a little important warning, and this is the most common mistake people make. Never use a household vacuum cleaner to clean your computer. I know it's tempting because it seems like the easiest way to get the dust out, but vacuums are actually dangerous for tech. They create massive amounts of static electricity, the same kind that zaps you when you rub your socks on the carpet. While that zap is just tiny a surprise for us, it can be the death sentence for the tiny sensitive parts inside your computer. One little static zap from the vacuum nozzle can permanently break your machine. Instead, the gold standard for cleaning tech is a simple can of compressed air, which you can find at almost any grocery or hardware store. It's just a can of pressurized air with a little straw. When you use it, make sure the computer is turned off completely. Use short, quick bursts of air blowing the dust out of the vents. If you can see the little fan blades move through the vents, try to use a finger or a wooden toothpick to hold the fan in place while you're blowing. You don't want the air to make the fan spin too fast, as that can actually damage the little motor inside. Just a few quick puffs every month or two will keep those fans quiet and move the air perfectly. Let's shift gears from the big machines to the one device you likely have in your hand right now, your smartphone. Have you ever gone to plug in your phone and noticed the cable feels mushy or that won't stay in? Or you have to wiggle it just right to get a charge? Your first instinct might be to worry about your phone being broken. But before you go out and spend hundreds on a new device, we need to perform what is called smartphone surgery. Think about where your phone spends most of its time. In your pocket or at the bottom of a purse. These places are full of tiny bits of lint, dust, and fabric fibers. Every time you plug in your charger, you are effectively packing in that lint deeper into the port, like tamping down on a tobacco pipe. Over time, that lint forms into a hard, felt-like pad at the bottom that prevents metal pins in your charger from actually touching the pins inside your phone. Now, here is the most important pro tip for this section. Never ever use metal paperclip or needle or safety pin to clean out your charging port. I know that the first thing people reach for is because it's thin and those pins inside actually carry electricity. If you stick the metal piece in there, you can cause a short circuit that permanently fries your phone's ability to charge. Instead, use a wooden or plastic toothpick. Carefully and very gently insert the tip of the toothpick into the port and sweep along the bottom. You will be shocked about the amount of gray fuzz that comes out. Once that port is clear, your charger should click into place with a satisfying snap, and your charging problems will ultimately vanish. We all love a crystal clear screen, but how we get there matters more than you might think. Modern touchscreens on phones, tablets, and even some laptops are treated with something called an oleophobic coating. That's just a fancy way of saying oil resistant. It's a microscopic layer that helps your fingers glide and makes it harder for fingerprints to stick. The mistake I see most often is people reaching for Windex and Clorox wipes or even rubbing alcohol to clean their screens. These chemicals are much too harsh. They will eat away at the protective coating in a matter of weeks, leaving your screen looking dull and making it much harder to clean in the future. Paper towels are another no-go. They're actually made from wood fibers and can leave microscopic scratches on glass over time. The best and safest way to clean any screen is with a dry microfiber cloth, the same kind of cloth you might use to clean a pair of eyeglasses. If the smudge is really stubborn, here's the secret. Never spray the liquid directly onto the device. If a single drop of liquid seeps into the edge of the glass, it can travel straight into the electronics and ruin the display. Instead, spray a tiny amount of water or specialized screen cleaner onto the cloth until it just is barely damp. Then wipe in a circular motion and keeps the liquid on the cloth and off the sensitive internal parts of your phone or laptop. For our next section, I want to talk about real estate, specifically where your tech lives in your home. This is a tip that is almost invisible to most people, but can double the life of your equipment. If you have a desktop computer, one of those big towers, the worst place you can put it is directly on a carpeted floor. Carpet is essentially a giant dust magnet, and most computer towers inhale air from the bottom. When it's on the carpet, it's sucking up every piece of dust and pet dander from the floor like a vacuum cleaner. If you can't fit your computer on your desk, even a simple fix like putting a flat piece of wood or a plastic computer stand under it will raise it up just an inch or two, allowing it to pull in much cleaner air. The same rule applies to your internet router. I often see people hide their routers inside the wooden cabinets or behind the stack of books to keep it out of sight. Remember what we said about breathing? Routers need airflow too. Putting a router in a closed cabinet is like putting a person in a small closet. It's going to get hot, and when it gets hot, your internet speed will start to drop. As a general rule of thumb, give your tech at least 3 to 4 inches of elbow room on all sides. Don't push your computer against the wall, and don't stack papers or magazines on top of your laptop while you're using it. By giving your device a clear, flat space to live, you ensure they stay cool, quiet, and fast. Small changes in how you set up just your desk today can save you from a major tech headache 6 months down the line. Finally, we can't talk about cleaning your computer without mentioning the two things your hands touch the most, your mouse and your keyboard. These are the workhorses of your setup, and because we use them so much, often when we're busy doing other things, they tend to collect the law of evidence of our daily lives. Have you ever been moving your mouse across the desk, but the little arrow on the screen starts jumping around or gets stuck in one corner? Most people think their mouse is dying, but usually it's just a vision problem. If you flip your mouse over, you can see a tiny hole with a red or invisible light. That's the optical sensor, the eye of the mouse. If even a single stray hair or a tiny speck of dust gets caught over that eye, it gets confused. A quick wipe with a dry Q-tip or a puff of air usually clears it right up. And let's be honest, many of us like to snack while we're at the computer. Those tiny crumbs from crackers or chips have a way of finding their way into the tiny gaps between your left and right mouse buttons. If your mouse ever feels mushy or doesn't click with the same snap it used to have, try turning it upside down and giving it a gentle tap, or use compressed air to blow out those snacking remnants. The same goes for your keyboard. It is essentially a giant crumb catcher. If you haven't done it in a while, try this. Unplug your keyboard or take your laptop and turn it upside down over a trash can and give it a firm but small, gentle taps on the back. You might be surprised at what falls out. For a deeper clean, you can also try a slightly damp cloth to wipe over the tops of keys. Now, here's a secret for those with certain types of keyboards. Many mechanical keyboards, the ones with the keys that are a bit taller and make loud clicky sounds, actually have detachable keys. You can pop the keycaps off with a small tool or even a dull butter knife. And believe it or not, some of these keycaps and even certain specialized spill-proof keyboards are actually dishwasher safe. You want to put the plastic caps in a mesh bag at the top rack with no heat and no soap, and then let them dry completely for 24 hours. However, unless you're 100% sure that your model allows this, stick to the damp cloth and upside down tap method to be safe. Great question, Mateo. The key is to be very gentle. Think of it like sweeping rather than digging. Always move the toothpick along the back wall and sides of the port in a light scooping motion. If you feel solid resistance, don't force it. It might just be the electrical pins themselves. You're just looking to snag the soft, fuzzy lint that doesn't belong in there. Hi, Aisha. If your desk is clear and the vents look clean, it might just be a specific program working too hard in the background. Before you try opening up, which can be tricky, try restarting your computer to flush the system. If that doesn't help, you might want to look into a laptop cooling pad. It's a small stand with an extra fans that help blow cool air into those bottom vents. I totally understand the nerves, Brenda. Curved screens use the same type of glass and coatings as flat ones, so the microfiber rule still applies. Avoid all chemicals. If you have a stubborn streak, use a tiny drop of distilled water on your cloth. Because the screen is curved, it catches light differently, so you'll want to wipe in very small, gentle circles to ensure you don't miss a spot. That's a sharp observation, Kenji. Those tiny USB-powered vacuums are generally much lower power and designed to be safer, but they often aren't very effective at getting the deep down grit. Honestly, the flip and tap method combined with compressed air is still the most effective and cheapest way to get those crumbs out without risking any static issues. It actually does matter, Sarah. A dirty or sticky mouse pad can cause friction, making your mouse feel heavy or sluggish. Most standard cloth mouse pads can actually be washed by hand in the sink using a little bit of dish soap and warm water. Just make sure it is 100% dry, which might take a full day before you put your mouse back on it. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the vents on your big desktop computer to the lid in your smartphone's pocket. The big takeaway I want you to remember is that clean tech is fast tech. By spending just 5 to 10 minutes a month checking your vents and wiping your screens, you're saving yourself from slow performance, expensive repairs, and the frustration of a device that quits on you right when you need it most. Now, I have a little homework for you. I want you to take a look at your phone's charging port or your laptop's side vents today. What is the grossest and most surprising thing you found hiding in there? Was it a mountain of pet hair or a giant piece of blue pocket vent? Tell me about it in the comments below. I love hearing your stories, and if you ran into a cleaning question we didn't cover, drop in the comments too. I'm always looking through them to get ideas for our next deep dive video. If you found these tips helpful and want to make sure you don't miss our next Tech Support Monday or Wednesday video, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us reach more people who might be struggling with their technology. And remember, if you're looking to get the most out of your business or personal project online, but the tech stuff feels like too much, we are here to help. At M.A.P Systems, we've designed a system that makes website creation as easy as following a map. No tech skills required. You can check out our easy 123 process and see what we're talking about at 123mapwebsites.com. Thanks so much for spending your Monday with me at M.A.P Systems, and I'll see you in the next one.